What the hell did I just do? I bit her. Not metaphorically, not playfully, not some flirtatious nibble. I bit Riley, teeth to skin, neck exposed, like a scene from a movie. What kind of person does that? There were no words spoken. Now I'm walking back to my room like I've committed a felony, a weird, sensual felony. My heart's pounding in a way that doesn't feel entirely human. My roommate's not here, again. She practically lives at her boyfriend's place, so this small, slightly chaotic space is mine most of the time. I wish it felt comforting. Right now, it feels like committed a crime scene. I pace. I don't even remember choosing to. My body just does it. Why the hell did you bite her, Quinn? My mouth is dry. My palms won't stop sweating. I check the clock. 2 o'clock in the morning? Go to bed, I whisper, but the command holds no weight. My brain is playing loops. The way Riley looked at me, the way her breath hitched, the way she didn't move, not even when she could have. I seriously crossed a line. I might have just ruined our friendship. My phone vibrates. I don't even know when I fell asleep. It's her. Riley. Riley. I freeze. Morning? Morning? Is that code for you're a freak and we need to talk? Or something else? I hesitate. Do I text back too fast? Would that be weird? Not texting feels weirder, right? Eventually, me. Hey, good morning. A few seconds pass. Riley, I'm hungry. You want to grab a bite to eat? Me? Yeah, sure. How about 11 o'clock? Me, that works. It's 10:55. I'm a mess. Hair, clothes, nerves. Does she have a mark? What if she wants to talk about it? What if she doesn't? Knock, knock. My pulse spikes. It's open, I call, trying to sound normal. She steps inside like nothing is out of the ordinary, wearing ripped jeans and that faded black hoodie she always throws on when she's hungover or wants to avoid the world. Morning, sunshine. I manage a smile. Hey. How are you? I ask, watching her a little too closely. Hungry, she says, laughing. What are you in the mood for? She thinks for a beat. I don't know. Can we go somewhere I can get a drink? A drink? At 11? I don't need anything to drink, I say carefully. I honestly need to study, and so do you. We're about to head into finals week. She shrugs. So you're just gonna let me drink alone? I laugh despite myself. Let's go. We head out together, the weight of last night following me like a shadow. Still, she doesn't mention it. No weird looks, no stiff silences. Just Riley, like always. 5 minutes into the drive. Nothing. Why hasn't she said anything? We eat, the food's amazing, conversation flows like it always does. Easy, effortless, fun. 5 minutes from the restaurant. Still no mention of the bite. Not a word, not even a glance at her neck. I can't stop stealing glances, though. Every time I look at her, I'm sure she's about to say something, but she doesn't. And still, nothing. No awkwardness, no confrontation, no weird jokes or, hey, remember when you bit me last night, kind of comments. Just brunch. No mention of the bite. No mention of last night. No mention of the strange, pulsing energy that still lingers between us, like static waiting to spark. We get back to our building. Still nothing. And I'm left wondering if we both imagined it, or if we're just too afraid to speak it out loud. Back at our apartment building, I half expect her to pause before she leaves, maybe turn and say something. A sly, we're going to talk about it eventually, or even a casual, so, about last night. But no, She smiles, tells me she'll see me later, and walks off like everything is fine. And I'm standing there, confused as hell, wondering if I'm losing my mind or if she's just really, really good at pretending. Finals week is here. Finals drains your soul and leaves your brain sizzling. Everyone was running on caffeine, stress, and the occasional breakdown. Still, no mention of, know what. And somehow, Blair and I had made it through. No more exams for a while, no more all-nighters, just the sweet, reckless freedom of post-finals delirium. And this is how we ended finals week. Riley had one last date lined up. Something casual, flirty, the kind of thing that felt like a reward for surviving the semester. Meanwhile, I was knee-deep in a suitcase, trying to figure out how to pack for spring break without bringing my entire closet. It was just after midnight when my phone buzzed. "Blair, you up?" "Yeah, I'm up." "Are you a little inebriated?" Blair replied. "Something like that." "Girl, go to bed," I replied. "Blair, no, I'm coming over." Before I could respond, there was a knock at the door. She lived directly across the hall, temptation in bare feet and lip gloss. I opened the door. Blair leaned against the frame, hair tousled, cheeks flushed, eyes dancing with mischief. She stepped inside without a word. "So," I said, watching her move, "how was your night?" She shrugged, casual. "It was good?" I raised an eyebrow. "That's good." She didn't wait for an invitation. She walked straight to my bed and sat down. Close. Too close. "Why are you so close?" I teased, nudging her away. She laughed, the scent of his cologne trailing behind her. I wrinkled my nose. "You smell like him." "Sorry," she murmured, suddenly sheepish. "Why are you apologizing?" "I don't know," she said, voice low. "I'm a little drunk." "You think?" I chuckled. She looked at me, eyes glassy but sharp. "He wasn't a good kisser." I blinked. Okay, that was random. I didn't even ask. She leaned in again, slower this time. "I know, but I wanted to tell you." Blair leans back on my bed. "Look, I wore my new panties," Blair slurred, her words tumbling out in a tipsy haze. We both erupted into laughter. "Did he like them?" I inquired, feigning nonchalance. But the truth was, curiosity gnawed at me, a hunger to know every sordid detail of Blair's trysts. "Oh, he did," Blair replied with a wicked grin. She began to unbutton her jeans, the clasp of her belt clinking against the floor. With a graceful sway of her hips, she climbed onto Quinn's bed, the springs creaking under her weight. "Do you want to see them?" I hesitated, a flicker of doubt crossing her mind. Yet she found herself drawn to the provocative dance of temptation. "No, but I have a feeling you want me to see them." "Yeah, I do." She unzipped her jeans, revealing the sheer, tantalizing fabric of her panties. A zipper ran down the center. With a single pull, the zipper could slide downward, smooth, silent, and deliberate. No fumbling, no tugging, just one motion, and the panties would part cleanly, peeling away like a secret invitation. No need to shimmy them down or twist awkwardly. They were designed for ease, for drama, for moments that didn't wait. "They're super cute. I like them." "Lay down with me," Blair cooed, her eyelids heavy with desire. She reached for me, pulling me close until our bodies were entwined like vines. "No, you smell like him," Quinn protested weakly, even though I felt the heat rising between us. The scent of Blair's lover clung to her skin, an intoxicating mixture of perfume and sweat. "How about you just leave and go to your own room?" I insisted. I shook my head, her resolve crumbling under the weight of Blair's insistence. Blair rolled over, pressing her body against mine until we were skin to skin. "Bite me," she demanded, her voice a husky whisper. You're drunk, I warned her, even as her fingers tangled in Blair's hair. I'm tipsy, not drunk. Bite me, Blair insisted, her breath hot against Quinn's neck. You remember the other night? She asked, voice low. I paused. Which part? When you bit me, she said, like it was nothing. You ran off before I could tell you, she continued, her voice dipping into something softer, more deliberate. I was turned on, like really turned on. I kept thinking about it, she said, all week, even during my date tonight. I hesitated for a moment, my heart racing in her chest. Then, with a sudden burst of desire, I grabbed Blair and pulled her close. My tongue traced a searing path down Blair's neck, and I opened her mouth wide, sinking her teeth into the tender flesh. Blair gasped, her body arching against mine. The taste of her skin was intoxicating, and I felt a rush of heat between my legs. I captured Blair's lips with my own, our tongues tangling in a dance of lust and longing. Every kiss was electric, setting my nerves alight with need. Blair's tongue darted and teased, exploring every inch of my mouth. My hands roamed Blair's body, mapping the contours of her curves until I could trace them blindfolded. The room spun around us, a whirlwind of sensation and sensation. The whiskey on Blair's breath mingled with the sweetness of her skin, creating a heady cocktail that left me dizzy with desire. As we lost themselves in each other, it knew I had crossed an even bigger line. This was more than just curiosity or friendship. It was the beginning of something dangerous and forbidden. But in that moment, as Blair's hands tugged at her clothes and her lips left a trail of fire on my skin, all thoughts of consequence melted away. There was only the here and now, the pulsing ache of desire, and the promise of uncharted pleasure. And so we surrendered to the darkness, two lost souls entwined in a tango of sin and seduction, our friendship forever changed by the heat of this forbidden dance. Blair gasped, her hips grinding against mine in a desperate search for friction. My hands roamed Blair's body, mapping every curve and hollow until she could trace them blindfolded. I tugged at Blair's jeans, yanking them down. Blair's panties were soaked through, the sheer fabric clinging to her swollen lips. I unzipped them with a desperate urgency, baring Blair's glistening sex to her hungry gaze. I buried her face between Blair's thighs, her tongue delving deep into her core. Blair cried out, her hips bucking against my mouth. I licked and sucked, my tongue swirling around Blair's clit in maddening circles. I teased and probed, driving Blair to the brink of madness with each stroke of her tongue. Blair's hands fisted in my hair, pulling her closer as I rocked her against my face. I could feel the heat of Blair's desire, her wetness coating my lips and chin. I feasted on Blair's sex like a starving woman, devouring every drop of her essence. Blair's moans grew louder, more desperate, as she teetered on the edge of climax. I doubled her efforts, my tongue a blur of motion as I chased Blair's release. With a final hard suck on her clit, Blair came undone, her body shaking with the force of her orgasm. I drank in every drop of Blair's release, savoring the taste of her forbidden fruit on my tongue. I knew that this was just the beginning, that our forbidden dance had only just begun.